welcome to my channel. I'm Amanda and we are here with September favourites. I cannot believe that it's this time already. Time is just flying in. Anyway, let me just move all this stuff and we'll go through all of the things that I have been loving this month. So the first thing that I have been loving is this Pentel Fiesta 0.7, and the only reason I've been loving this is because it is a 0.7. Autofocus isn't on anymore, so it won't focus, but this is a mechanical pencil. I got it in a scroller box and I have put the coloured lead in it. The Pentel coloured lead actually, which are much better than the colour Eno lead. I like the colours of the colour Eno lead better, but the quality of the Pentel ones are much better. So I've been using blue, which is a darker blue, which I really like. And then I have also been using the Pentel red as well, so that's exciting. I really like using those in conjunction with this. My rubber is down though. I hate using the rubbers on the end of the pencils because this happens and then you have to like try and pry it out, but I have a graph gear coming and I'm probably gonna use that a lot more than this. This kind of shreds up the pencil inside. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Like down here it shreds it up. It's almost as if the pencil is too big, too small for the lead to go through. But other than that, it's really good. It's quite light, but it works pretty good, so I like it. Another thing that I have been loving this month is these no-name brand mechanical pencils, and they're 0.5, but the lead in them are awesome. I got 24 for £1 out of Asda, and they come in all different colours, but these have been really cool to work with. Then obviously my Colorise pencils are just good to sketch with because they are always good to, you know, pick out colours and stuff. Again, the rubber on them is not too great, but I use it anyway just because I'm so used to turning it around and using it. My favourite colours are indigo blue, rose, carmine red and lavender or purple. Hold on, let me see. Purple. The next thing is this Kuretake flexible mangaka pen, and it has a really flexible nib on the end. To go along with that, there is another pen that I have been loving that's kind of the same, it's from the same brand, it's Kuretake, and this one is less flexible, it's more of a bullet tip nib, but it's awesome. The ink in it is really good, and I have been loving it, and I'm pretty sure I will love it for Inktober as well, although my ink is going dry. There is bubbles in it as well. Oh well, actually my ink is pretty good. I've only used that amount. So yeah, these two pens are great for lining if you're rubbish at it and you don't really want to use like a long brush pen like the Pentel pocket brush. These are much easier to use, so they're really good. This is the Kuretake Fujigochi pen, and then this one's the Zeg Cartoonist Mangaka Flexible Fine. It's smudge proof and waterproof, I think. Water based pigment, light fast smudge proof with alcohol based markers or watercolour. So it's smudge proof. I don't know what this is because it's Japanese, but if you put watercolour on this far too soon then it will smudge. The next things that I have been loving are these Bic round stick medium pens. They're absolutely awesome for sketching. They bring out the lightest of pigment and then the darkest of pigment if you press down. I've actually really been enjoying the blue ones, even though I hate writing in blue pen. Like, I've always hated blue pen, but these ones in particular have been awesome to kind of work with. In the black and the blue, I kind of want to see if there's any other colours that I could use, but these are cool just to sketch with if you don't want to erase and you want to teach yourself to just keep going if you make a mistake. Another one of my favourites for lining, like these ones, if you don't know how to line with brush pens or you're just really bad at it like me, these Pentel Touch sign pens are really good. I have them in a various amounts of colours. I have a red one as well, but it's not in here because I was using it earlier, but they are really good for just lining and having fun with. I did want to do a review on these, but I don't know, I think it's past now. Posca pens. Everybody loves a bit of Posca pen these days. These in particular, the white ones, are really good for highlights. I've got one in a 0.7 and 0.9 I believe. Yeah, 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter, which is this one, and then the smaller one, which is 0.7. These are really good for highlights. Then my favourite of all time white gel pen. This is the Uniball Signal gel pen. It's white and it is the most pigmented and the easiest to use, especially compared to the Jelly Roll, which everybody loves, but you have to be really careful with the Jelly Roll. You have to go slow and try and get the pigment out, and it's not really that consistent, whereas the Uniball Signal is quite consistent. Another pen that I love, which I thought that I would hate, is this hybrid gel pen. I don't know the make. Pentel. It's by Pentel. It's a hybrid gel pen. So I don't exactly know what it means by hybrid, but it's a gel grip, and it kind of like, it's like a chameleon, but it stands out a little bit more. If you put it on top of pigment, it kind of fades in to it, so it's like a gradual build up. So if you use this, say you wanted to draw a cherry or something, and you put this on, then it will kind of blend into the colour, and then if you just gradually put on that and then put on this on top in the middle, then it will make it a brighter highlight, like a nicer gradient. So instead of just doing the stark white, you can have this for the kind of lighter or darker highlights. I have no idea what type of pen this is, to be honest. Oh, it's a Bic. I thought it was a no-name one. It's actually a Bic Fine. So Bic are actually really good for sketching pencils. This one is a little bit blotty, but the colour of it is awesome. So if you're careful with the blottiness, or you just don't care, then these are really good for sketching as well, and they're really cheap. So are these, but I think these are cheaper. And this is in red, so it's a different colour, which is fun. And I think that's all of the pencil based things that I want to show you guys. Next up is watercolour and gouache. So I've been using these a lot. I wanted to test them out to see if they were better than the Pentel ones, which by the way, I love the Pentel ones. You can get them in a pack of 3. They're awesome. They last for a long time. Caran d'Ache ones are the same. They last for a long time. They're really good. These ones are okay. The problem is that the bristles are kind of like really plasticky, but you just have to use them a lot to kind of wear them in and make them feel less plasticky. They're not as soft as what I would like, but they are really good and they're cheap. I think I got these for £8, which is awesome because I think that you can get the Pentel ones for about that, and there's only 3 in that pack. So these Mudder watercolour brushes, you get a 01, a 02, 03, 04, 07 and 010, are really good and handy for watercolour on the go, and they come in a handy dandy wallet which you can push back in here and seal and carry it around, which is awesome. As for the watercolours, these will always be my favourites. I have used these far too much. I think I need to fill up some of them. The pigment is great though, they last forever. I've had these for about 2 years I believe, and I haven't had to refill them yet. Obviously the white is getting low. I don't really like using the white anymore. I did to start with, and then this is getting low, this is getting low. You know, they are getting low, but not as low as you think, because these will last for another like year and a half without having to fill them up, I think. They are just so pigmented, so rich and lovely. The thing that I hated about this was the case, but luckily I have a very strong partner, and he took the ring that used to be here off, because if the ring was there it didn't go flat, so it was like rocking around when I was using it, but now it stays sturdy on the desk and it's really handy to have. You've got a lot of mixing space, but it's still compact enough to take with you travelling or whatever. It's quite heavy, but you could get away with taking this travelling, I think anyway. Other watercolours that I've been loving are the Sakura Koi watercolours. They are a little bit less of a good quality compared to this into these, but I think I've had these for around a year, and they have done me well. I really enjoy using them. They are less of a quality of the sorry, I didn't even tell you what these were. These are the Schmink watercolours. But yeah, these are less good, but they are quite cheap. I think these are £25, and you get a little sponge and a little watercolour brush in here as well, which I don't have anymore because I hated the watercolour brush. It was too small for me, but it is good for a travel kit, and you have all the colours that you actually need in here, so it's good. I wish that they swapped out the white and the black for another colour, maybe a darker brown and a, like, I don't know, a purple. I know that purples don't really come that easily, but I prefer to have a purple because I hate mixing purples. They're really hard for me to mix. And then we have the gouache that I have been loving, which I keep in this really cheap case. I don't even think it has a name or a brand, but it's awesome, and it has a lot of wells in it. I don't know the name, but you can get these on Amazon for pretty cheap. I think this one was £2, plus post and packaging, like including post and packaging, it was like £2. I think it was £1.30. And I just put all of my gouache in here. Now you can tell which ones are the cheap gouache compared to the really expensive gouache. The expensive gouache would be the Winsor & Newton, but you can get these for £5 and they last forever, especially if your medium, like your main medium, isn't gouache. So this is the Winsor & Newton designer gouache, and this is in Spectrum Red. So this is the Winsor & Newton, this is Winsor & Newton, and this is Winsor & Newton, and Winsor & Newton is a lot more shiny, and they stay wet for a very long time. They're so easy to reignite, like they're so easy to re-wet. They're just lovely paints, and I really wish I had a full set of these, but I don't because they're expensive. But I get myself a couple of tubes every time I get a little bit of money extra. These ones are pretty good as well. This is the Cadmium Yellow designer gouache, and it's really good. It is awesome. But see, you just squish a bit out there and it dries eventually, and it's really good to have. So the designer's gouache is a little bit less expensive than the Winsor & Newton, but it does the same amount of the same job. I also got these. They were 14 or 15 in a pack, and they are the Royal and Lannickel Essentials gouache, and I got them for £3.99 out of a stationery shop. This is the Vermilion one, but they do a good job. They are a little bit bubbly, and you can tell that they're like bad quality, but again, they last forever. These ones don't last as long as these ones, but they do last quite a bit, plus the fact that I went a bit crazy with my gouache and put them in a lot of palettes. So yeah, anyway, gouache is really fun to use. It is quite different from watercolour, but also the same. So if you like watercolour, you definitely will like gouache. If you like acrylic, you might like gouache as well, because it's very similar, but you also get the transparency and the flexibility of it as well. My next favourite thing is this case, and this is a BKNY case. I will link it in the description below. I hope that I remember to link all this stuff, but this is a really good case. It's 160 slots on it, and it also has a little pocket for like a sharpener and a rubber if you want. I've got some colours out of here because I've been using them for my colour books, but they're awesome. And in it I have my favourite pencils, which are the Faber-Castell Polychromos. I have another pencil case that's got the full set of these, which are my favourite pencils ever. My second favourites I think would be Luminance, just purely because of the price, and I do not like the consistency as much as the Prismacolors, because not the Prismacolors, the Polychromos, because they are a little bit more creamy, so they're a little bit harder to work with, and they do disperse a lot of pigment, so I don't like that as much. You have to have a very light hand to use these well, and like I said, they are expensive. And then my third favourite would be the Prismacolors, just because I'm not used to them, but they are a good pencil set, and I got the 72 pack, so they are really good, and I really enjoy using them. and they are good pencils, so they're good for colour books. But I do live in the UK, so it is quite hard to get a set of Prismacolors, and I can't buy them individually, but that's alright. I haven't really been using that much proper normal brushes, so that's the thing. I don't really use that, but yeah, so I haven't been using that much. As for sketchbooks, I am really loving this Daler Rooney Graduate sketchbook. I filled it up. I will show a flip through and do a little review on it. The problem is the cover does get messy, especially if you wear makeup and have it on your hands and then sketch straight away without washing your hands. Don't do that, guys. Wash your hands when you make makeup. But it's got the right amount of pages in it. It's 140 GSM, and yeah, it has 20 pages, so 40 each side, and then it's A4 as well, which is really good to work with in my eyes. So yeah, that's all the stuff that I've been loving this September. I hope that you guys found good use out of it. Tell me what you've been loving in the comments below. Have you been loving the same things as me, or different things that I should try out? And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye guys!